Now, let's see what I can pull out for this. Oh, okay. It's another new werewolf. And it's nighttime, baby. Let's pay 3. Cast the Harvest Tide Infiltrator, who then becomes the Harvest Tide Assailant.
Assailant, who also is just slightly bigger with trample.
So it's slightly bigger.
He only gets +1/+0, doesn't he?
+1/+0?
Yeah. No, he actually gets +1/+2. My bad.
Nice. Yeah, trample, you usually just want to focus on power. Does he survive? Is the game over when all damage is dealt and all creatures have hit the graveyard? So, because I'm just about out of things to cast here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start combat. The Storm Charge Slasher is going to give the Harvest Tide Assailant +2/+0 haste and vigilance until end. Is it vigilance? No, it's trample.
No, it's haste.
It's just trample. Okay. So this.
So now he has double trample,
which is the same amount as regular trample. Swing, my animal horde.
All right, I'm gonna have siege zombie block the Storm Charge Slasher.
Blocking the slasher, heard. Okay, and that's the only creature I have that does... Well, okay, he does not have... Really? You're not going to block the Dire Strain Brawler just to minimize damage?
No.
Well, okay, then. Alright, damage step. Siege Zombie takes the hit.
Is deaded. I take, what is
it, 14 damage from 14. The unblocked creatures.
Bringing me down to -9.
Holy shit.
All right, then. Congratulations, Mr. Cloud. You beat me with werewolves.
I beat the zombies.
Yes. All right. So I do have a couple of other cards that I like to show off. Specifically, simply because although I drew into a good portion of my deck, I didn't actually get to show off everything that I've got.
Alrighty.
So, it's this Startle.
Looking through the library, what are the cards we didn't play?
Diagraph Horror and Bloodstitch Scab and Mokrat. Yeah. So, game 3, I was holding on to this Diagraph Hoarder, and I was like, if I can just get it out, that effectively is 14 points of damage on board once he hits.
Oh yeah. Zombie giants. I love it.
I'm not entirely sure. I know that I'm running a tad low on land, specifically because I'm running, a 4 Evolving Wilds. But I was hoping on me not getting mana screwed with a one mana keep. I know I'm supposed to go for 2 mana keeps exclusively, but game 1 just went so well with the champion of the parish. So.
Oh, the champion really is your boy. They don't call him the champion for nothing.
So, the Celatus. That's right. This is the new werewolf artifact.
Is it the Celestis or it's the Celestis? Yes.
Yes, the Celestis.
Yeah, it's a card that I unfortunately could not quite get out on time. Although it does have some...
That, and to be perfectly honest, it doesn't really help your win condition. I mean, you can spend mana in order to trigger Night, but to be perfectly honest, I'd rather just cast spells or fail to cast spells in order to trigger Night, because your curve is actually mostly fine. You have ones and twos. It's usually threes that you're short on right now, right?
Well, I have lots of threes in the deck actually.
Okay. The plummet. Yeah, I do have some amount of flying.
Just some.
I really would have liked to bring out Mokrat, because Mokrat is honestly a really cool fucking critter.
Critter.
A 7/6 with menace.
Yeah. On the subject of what is the ideal stat to pay attention to depending on abilities. Once again, it's power. It's always power.
I would have liked to actually resolve Startle because this is something that's really exclusive to this setting. The ability for blue to generate non-bird tokens, specifically tokens in general, because blue doesn't actually generate tokens all that often. So
Yeah, they're usually
having
like
having
birds,
a blue token generator
wizards.
is really cool. Even then, I can't really think of any spells that generate blue tokens because the wizard tokens are off of a creature, right?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I think the wizard tokens are off of a creature,
Yeah,
right?
that would. I mean, the Docent of Perfection comes to mind. There's also Talrin's Invocation, which is a sorcery that says put 2/2/2 flying Drake tokens on the battlefield.
Okay.
Talrin, Sky Summoner.
All right, so I like this. This was honestly really fun, and to be perfectly honest, I really like how specific Magic theme sets have been going in recent years. This is one of the more recent ones that we've done. And to be perfectly honest, one of the big things that recent Magic sets really do exceedingly well, and even as far back as Eldraine to a certain extent, is the theming of the sets. Like, the werewolf package and the zombie package are extremely well themed and actually relatively powerful with their designated game states. They're very fun to play with in a limited environment, even if they don't actually have that good of an impact on all that good of an impact on standard. And that's what our exploration series more or less focuses on. How do these mechanics feel to play in limited, and us actually exploring the sets. I think that modern Magic the Gathering actually does this extremely well when it comes to specifically theming and limited play. Not so much when it comes to modern and standard and, well, Pioneer to a lesser extent, but that's because I actually have a lot of nostalgia for Pioneer.
I do.
I really feel as though Magic the Gathering right now is actually in a very healthy place when it comes to limited specifically. I don't know how good it is in standard right now. Like the last major set that I was even partially following was Bloomborough, and I didn't actually follow that release at all. Just that a lot of really cool stuff was in it.
I do agree that limited play sets help create these very special, more perfect than so laboratory style conditions that allow you to test out the mechanics without the interferences from other existing mechanics and what has become a whole universe of keywords, and not all of them play nicely with the new ones that come out. Or just the ones,
most of them,
or just the ones that occur in any one of these sets. I was wondering, because as we were discussing at the very opening of this exploration, this is not the first instance of werewolves in Magic the Gathering. So is it official that all werewolves are now like daybound or nightbound, or are the old werewolves just going to get left in the dust, basically?
The old werewolves are power crept out. They do not get the new daybound and nightbound stuff.
Damn, they should have eroded them, man. They should have eroded them.
Magic doesn't like doing erratas like that, Mr. Cloud.
But it does do it sometimes.
Very, very rarely. Like, can you actually think of an eroded card at the moment?
I can think of cards where they had to update it to say like if there's an X cost and an activated ability, that X can't be 0 for just legal reasons. Like, I don't know, can't divide by 0.
Division.
Well, that is a bit of a shame. I hope that at least Midnight Hunt will encourage players to check out the old werewolves. I mean, not all of them are totally unplayable. It's just by comparison.
Yeah, like Huntsmaster of the Fells. A Huntmaster of the Fells is still an extremely powerful werewolf.
Hell.
It's just a thing. It's just a thing that we don't actually play with because, we play limited.
Well, you know what I would do? I would just make it a house rule that says, oh, you got werewolves that don't have the daybound, nightbound keywords. Don't worry about it. They have daybound and nightbound. Why? Because human beings are watching, and we can modify the games as we see fit in order to make it fun and more inclusive for everybody.
Yay! It's like a table zero discussion.
Yeah, just I mean, it makes sense. I think that they should have, because I mean, what the fuck? You got a whole pile of just crap cards right now.
I'm telling you, man, Huntmaster of the Fells is still a good werewolf even without Daybound
Yeah,
Nightbound.
like not all of them are totally unplayable. It's just really unfortunate that unless you're playing with really really good friends of yours, you're probably not going to be able to use them as easily as I was able to use these werewolves here. Because as soon as it becomes night, it stays night. It's an objective marker. It can be changed by card effects, and the werewolf and any werewolves that you play will just obey accordingly. It's beautiful how fluid that one little change they made to the werewolves made the whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So how do we feel about the set in general, though? Because we didn't actually explore white or vampires all that
The
much.
fucking vampires. I mean, I saw the vampires. Like, yeah, that's a big missed opportunity. It's a bit of a shame. I'm running red, but I don't want to run any vampires whatsoever because they don't play well with werewolves. At least the way that these werewolves are going about their stiff. So I went along the lanes of picking the Celestis to keep control of the day-night cycle, putting in cards with flash or instant speed or activated abilities that allow me to do that. The vampires play well with vampires. You know, lions walk with lions and hyenas walk with hyenas. That's how it generally goes when you're trying to get a uniform characteristic of the deck, like for example goblins. You're not going to see a lot of non-goblins in a goblin deck. That's just how they roll.
Mostly because the travel synergies with goblins are very xenophobic against
Indeed.
goblins.
There will always be vampires. Oh yeah, like freaking every set in this game includes at least like one new vampire release. at least in the modern scene anyway.
I don't think that Bloomburrow has a new vampire, actually. I mean, Duskborn probably has several.
Duskborn.
But anyway, this has been us attempting to explore Innistrad Midnight Hunt, an extremely difficult set to research because how the fuck is it actually spread out? Is it in Midnight Hunt Innistrad? Is it Innistrad Midnight Hunt? Gatherer? How is this spelled out? I don't know. Go away.
Just keep coming up with words.
All right. Next time it's going to be Cloud to pick out what we're doing. And yeah, thank you all for watching.
And we'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you very much.
Be safe.